I think this deserves another 15 minutes. So, yes, the easier you are to be emotional or care about things is thought of a weakness because the devil is able to play with it like a toy. Now, there is an exception to that because God can step in, and even though this devil's doing all this stuff, nothing will ever happen to you physically. You will still be alive and breathing, even though you go through some pain and everything is being torn away from you. But that's basically the test. Are you going to give in? Right. That's why this life is filled with temptations and deception. And yes, I know this because I've been tempted, I've been deceived, and I've noticed, and that's how I know. And I've watched other people that went through the same thing. I also know that in times of a lot of chaos and a lot of craziness, making a big old knot of things, so it makes it harder to figure out the lines and directions that everything came in, who started it, what started it, blah, blah, blah. To figure that out, sometimes you have to back up and start from the basics. And some people understand what I mean by that, others take their own approach. But as long as it leads you to the truth, doesn't matter which way you do it. Fact is, sometimes you got to zoom out and really look at everything and how it's what path it took into the situation. The funny part is that the people out there making things happen know that. That's why there's multiple people that mirror the same action or close to it. And then you have to look really, really detailed to see everything they did to make sure they weren't the one that did it because what their line of action was shows that they were possible. It was possible because of time, opportunity, and location or whatever. But a lot of times it's constructed like that. And a lot of times they have a person that is basically like Smoking the Bandit. They're a blocker. They are to make you think that they're part of it, which sometimes, most of the time, they are. They're just not the main person. And basically, you'll follow them around and, watch what they do and all that, while the other one that really, really was the one behind it is off doing other stuff, watching you chase this other person, just laughing because they know you're chasing their ghost. That was their ghost that they put there for you to chase. If their ghost is really good, they're going to lead all those people into circles and make them believe that there's other people that it was really their problem. So basically, trying to get you to catch a different hook and go off on another direction to get off of them. And then that hook will run you around in circles, and this is how people end up getting the wrong person or exhausted and just saying screw it because their brain is just so exhausted. And that's all they're doing. They're running you through basically a mind rope a dope until you give up. That's what they're doing. And a lot of people, oh, that's so complicated. No, actually, it's not. It's actually very simple. They're taking childhood antics to get their way and using it towards adult situations. That's what they're doing. All the stuff that kids were taught they shouldn't do. That's what these people are doing as adults, but in real life scenarios, getting people to believe a whole bunch of delusional stuff. So it creates rabbit holes and conspiracy theories instead of getting to the bottom of what really happened. It's all diversions. So that means, yeah, something around that first thought is actually what went down. But you're going to have all kinds of people trying to derail it. Notice, whenever Upchurch did, an investigation thing, that's what people would do. They'd come in as a friend and try and derail or divert. Right. That's how Upchurch got his head all fucked up because there were so many people that were a part of that circuit that any one of them could start sending you into different rabbit holes, even though they might have not been a part of that particular situation. They still know the ropes because they're a part of it somewhere, somehow. Maybe not that person or that missing child, but they know the ropes. Now, there's other people that are really good at thinking, and they're not really a part of that, but they can see how somebody would try and pull it off. Now, that's where the lead away hooks and a random person with a brain can throw it off. And sometimes that lead hook, trying to lead people away from the situation, is hoping that that's another thing they get hung on. Because then the ones that are really a part of it can just shut up and improv off of whatever those two people are coming up with. Another reason for the internet and social media. So they can hear what people are coming up with and what they're discovering so they can divert it or allow other people to divert it and they just push that narrative like, yeah, that's a good idea, let's push it that way. And before you know it, everybody's going off of hearsay and you know thoughts instead of sticking to the facts, and that's how they get you. Well, what if this? Well, what if a bullfrog had wings? Is that what happened? you know do the end results show that those are the actions that caused it? No. Then no. Like in my kid's situation, people trying to say, oh, well, she passed out behind the wheel and there was a tire in the road. Well, even without a video, the traffic pattern not consistent with something being in the roadway. Not at all. Also, the fact that she kept speed, a minimal speed uphill, shows that she was coherent and controlling the gas and brake. Yeah, so she was not asleep. She was not knocked out. She wasn't having any type of issue other than her own mental issue. This is what I mean. She has a history of trying to do this. Her daughter deliberately gives her this opportunity with her daughter's back turned. Oh, I'm at work and have no other way. Bullshit. You had plenty of ways. You chose that because you didn't have to pay for it. You could run wild and party because your mother would let you. You knew those kids were going to be destroyed, and you could blame it on somebody else and get attention for it. So that's what you allowed. See, she forgets of the conversation I had with our daughter because our daughter was upset because she witnessed her mother saying that she was never going to have a life and that she just wants to die in front of her daughter. So now you're pulling manipulation tactics about life and death of Kirsten's mother in front of her to tug at her. You're depressed and having an issue because you decided to do things against your own relationship and you didn't want to accept responsibility for it. You wanted to live this delusion that you did nothing wrong when you knew damn well you did. You just don't want people to look at you as a bad person. Everything you did shows that you did that on purpose. You knew damn well those kids were not safe. You did not care. People can sit here and run their mouth all they want. A hardworking mom is doing what? My mom was a hardworking mom. My mom was a single mom. I know every damn thing that they have to do and what happens. I know. What you all forget was I was a single father. And how come I'm able to take care of both situations, but she's not able to take care of just herself? The state took care of her house because of the peace order she put in. Yes, that moves you on a housing list straight to the top of the list because you're considered a person in need of protection. That's why she did that. Who pays for that? It's not her, it's me. Right. Even though I've already paid for all that. Even though she left this house with over $30,000. I said over. Yeah, it was more closer to 50. Well, why would you add your mom's in? I done told you all. We were waiting to get David back from what she tried to pull and got David taken. I even told her to her face. Shortly after we had to come here, I said, as soon as we get David back, you're planning on leaving, aren't you? She said no. She was planning on that the whole time. I was just a stepping stone. I wasn't anything to her from the beginning. This is exactly what her and her feminist mother would do and plan all the time. As soon as they found a guy with a heart that was actually willing to try and have a relationship with this girl, that's what they were going to do. For 12 years, she had deliberately destroyed my life and tried to put everything in her name without her working for any of it. That is a gold digger, 100%. Gee, do you think when the kids passed that she automatically stopped? No. She used them to get paid even more because she blew through that money that she left here with. And guess what she was doing? She was using me and other men to get vehicles. So she wasn't paying for that either. So where's all this money going? Drugs. Why did she do that? Because she thought by doing that she was going to make all kinds of money off the GoFundMe, all kinds of money off the insurance. I would not be able to touch it because she would find a way to put me away for some stupid reason. And she almost did exactly that, even though I had nothing to do with this whole situation. It was her, her mother, and David. And every, everybody was told that this was going to happen. Nobody cared. Imagine being that child. Imagine being in that child's shoes and being that child, knowing that your parent is about to hurt you and there's nothing you can do.